taking a couple notes.
Okay, great. So we should be good to go from here on out, though. Good. Get that squishies. Now, here's an interesting little question here. One of the things you've probably noticed with Sigma, is that not all squishies are created alike. For example, we talked about the difficulty of shooting Lucio. Compare Lucio to Junkrat. What's easier to kill and why?
Junkrat.
Why?
Lucio can speed boost and get like close enough where you can't hit him with splash damage. It's really annoying.
One of the things about Sigma, and this is not even just it's definitely partly mechanics, but it's definitely something that even like GM Sigma struggle with. Sigma is really, really, really good at shutting down slow DPS and slow supports. Bastions, Junkrats, Hanzos, Widows, if you can reach them, Ana, Zenyatta, things like that. If they go characters like this, like I look at this here, shoot Moira if you can, right? But also it's okay to just shoot Soldier. Sometimes you might have to not even shoot the healers and shoot the DPS instead, just because the DPS are a lot easier to hit. Because all you need is just damage and kill threat or pressure, and you don't necessarily need to kill the supports first. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
One of the things you might try to do with Sigma is just try to shoot what's the easiest for you to shoot. Doesn't mean you shouldn't try to push yourself to kill somebody sometimes, but like if you spent your entire time trying to chase a Lucio Tracer on the map, you'd have a really hard time. And you might be better off shooting other targets. Okay. Keep shooting. There's nothing else to shoot. Good. I actually like this. So some people might be like, yo, why are you ulting here? They're Junkrats in spawn. They're Moiras in spawn, right? But what happens if you get this kill? Even just one kill.
Basically win the fight, but we also kind of stagger them.
Right. What you do is you actually commit an ultimate to stagger them, which is actually not a bad idea. Because what's going to happen is the soldier's going to die. And then maybe the Lucio's going to beat. Oh no, they wasted Lucio beat. And then now you could probably go focus down and kill the Sigma. So the Sigma's going to die. And what's going to happen? Card's going to move and move and move and move. And then by the time that Sigma respawns, you're basically like in last fight territory, right? Yeah. It's something that pros do sometimes. And it's not a bad idea. Now this is tricky.
This is a bit of a journey.
Yeah, this is really tricky. So here's what I would do. I would throw my rock here, and then you're gonna move your controller, and you gotta check. What do you see?
Let's see a Junkrat.
So what should you do?
I should probably focus him because he can kill my team.
I think so too. And not just because your Sigma can kill your team too, but which one are you better equipped to deal with? Which one can you theoretically threaten quicker? A Junkrat or a Sigma?
Junkrat more.
Right. So you will deal with this Junkrat, pray that your team can deal with the Sigma, but ultimately, yes, this is the more important thing. And this is kind of what we talked about, like chasing people, right? Like, oh, I'm chasing. And it's not terrible, right? But look at what happens to your backline. Look what happens to your backline. Off angle, Junkrat gets the kill. Moira goes in for the coalescence. Your Bastion gets split. He's dead. These are all things that you can help deal with. So for you, it's not about like, oh, don't chase people in the back. Instead, I want you to think of it as like, you need to make sure that you're going for the right targets, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like even now, you're coaling. Where's that soldier? I want that soldier. I want that Junkrat. Okay, maybe we just lose. In seconds, get that junk. Get that Moira. Huge. Good. You force fade. Stay on her. Good. Stay on her. Oh, unlucky. That sucks. Soldier now. Soldier. Huge. He's one. Woo, he's so low. Oh, that's so close. Like you got so many people to 1 HP. Okay. I assume that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, that's not really.
So what are you seeing so far? What needs to be practiced? We talked about a couple of things. So what are the priorities?
With my shield, I need to use it for getting to cover, and I need to drop it once I get to the cover.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, unless when? When would you shield something even if you're already on cover? Remember the Junkrat, right?
Yeah, it has like a kill threat to me.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's a lot of damage, right? You see that, then you need to be a little bit more cautious with it. Okay, now what else are you seeing? So a little bit of shield usage cover to cover, and then once you're on cover, be more impatient. What else?
I don't know how to word it, but I understood what you meant when you were talking about the like who I should be focusing.
I think it just comes down to target priority, right? Like
Yeah.
what's the think about it this way? What is the target where there's the highest chance of you getting a kill on it? Like
Yeah,
you look at their comp right now. Look at their comp right now. Seriously, if you were to go into a unranked death match and you were to be a turd and pick Sigma, which by the way is fine if you want to practice it. By the way, who are you going to kill fastest?
Any squishy really.
Which one?
Compared to a tank.
Which one? Which one do you think is easiest for you to kill? As Sigma. Look at their comp.
Ash, if I can.
Yeah, definitely Ash. Ash is the easiest one. So if you can reach Ash or shield Ash, big bucks. Okay, who's second place?
Oddly enough, I can't see like the very corner.
Oh, really? It's Sombra, Moira, Luce. Here, let me give you this. That you should be able to see that.
Oh, well, this is a little hard.
It is a little hard, isn't it? Who's second place?
Moira, if she uses Fade.
I would agree. Maybe even if she doesn't use Fade, because you can force Fade. Forcing Fade is good. I mean, she can't play as aggressively and she's vulnerable. So Moira's okay. Who else is okay?
I mean, sometimes Sombra, because they
can't
place their TP down. They always throw it and they're like not that far away.
Sure. What about Ramatra? How good are you versus that guy?
I feel like it depends on whether or not he has his fist punchy thing.
Yeah. How good is your creation versus that?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's rock, right?
Yeah. He's okay, right? He's okay. He's pretty fat, so it's pretty easy to shoot. Not very easy to kill, but pretty easy to shoot. So maybe it's like, Ash, big priority, Moira's okay, Sombra's okay, Ramatra's okay, Lucio's the last target you should be looking for, depending on how aggressive they are, right? Now, the last thing I'll say is before you just because we're going to make this even more complicated. You ready for this?
Yeah,
before you memorize who you should be shooting, do you shoot, this is a dumb question, but bear with me. Do you shoot an Ashe when she's literally in the spawn doors?
I mean, sometimes.
Okay. Let's say this Ashe the Sombra stays in spawn and never leaves spawn. Can you shoot the Sombra?
I could, but...
You're right. You can. So my point is that don't just memorize targets to shoot. You should have a priority list, but you should also see who's playing aggressively here. Because let's say you want to go for Ashe, but you're holding the choke and Ashe is way over here. Guess what? You're not shooting Ashe, right? But you know what? That's all.
That, right?
You could shield it, right? But you can't shoot it. And but that's okay though, because how much can an Ashe see from here?
A little. With the choke,
a little.
That's about it.
But not much. And she's also starting to deal with fall off at that point in time. It's hard to land dynamite. It's not very effective. So then what happens if the Ashe is over here and the Lucio is in your face? Well, guess what? You're shooting Lucio, right? Even though he's your worst target, but because of how aggressive he is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I want you to try and think about what are my priority targets? What are my priority targets? But I also don't want you to just memorize. For example, right now, Moira is not a priority target for you. But why are you shooting Moira right now?
Because she's on that off angle.
She's aggressive, right? She's doing something crazy, right? And it's good. You need to shoot her because if you don't, she might be really, really scary to your team. Now, I would say don't shield it, right? Don't shield it. You could maybe shoot this and shield that, but it's not bad that you're shooting a Moira here because if you shoot that Moira once, she's out. Even that, look, even though you didn't even hit your shot, look what happens when you shoot at her. Watch. Oh, shoot, I'm getting shot at. You see how she backs out for a second?
Yeah.
Nice job. That's very good. I just wouldn't shield it, Oh, she's flanking.
I just kind of built that habit up so far, but yeah.
Yeah,
I understand that.
Yeah. Now, you want to see something funny here? This is where you really, really needed to get a volley out. It's unfortunate that you didn't shift that, but that's 100% shoot that target. That's something that you can reach. That's something you can shield. You're backing off here, but your bashing is still in. You need to help this guy out. You need to be damaging this. Your Bastion's gonna die. Yeah. I know you're worried about Moira in the backline, but that's so far away from you, right? It might be better at that point just to hold space and try to shoot what you can shoot. I know it's a complicated situation, but okay. You know exactly what I'm gonna say right here, right?
The Ashe.
Yeah. Now, you didn't see her until now, but this next volley, I want to see on that Ashe. Yes. And maybe even use a little bit of shield. But do you see how like it feels almost lazy, your mechanics? Who are you shooting here, right? Like that's volley, okay. You're kind of shooting somewhere in between. Like even that, like who is that aim for? You know?
I see what you mean, yeah.
Hit her in the face. Hit her right directly in the face. And she's the easiest target in the world to shoot. Get her. Because that's the difference between life and death here. If she doesn't die, oh my goodness gracious. You look at that. She should be dead. One more shot if you had actually aimed it properly and she's dead. Instead, she lives. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And again, you're like, oh, she's out. I mean, I get it. Maybe kind of, sort of. But how useful is this shield? How easy is it to shield a Sombra on your backline?
Pretty easy.
I mean, is it? Let's find out.
All right, what was the question?
How easy is it to shield a Sombra on your backline?
Oh, no, not easy.
Right, not easy at all. Like even here, you try and you fail miserably, right? It's not even because you're bad. It's just, it's almost impossible. It's like trying to shield a Tracer. It's too hard, right? In the meantime,
I see.
you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Now, if they were on Sombra Tracer, let's say there is nothing to shield. Then yeah, sure, throw your shield in the middle here, just spam the Sombra, spam the Tracer. But you know what's funny? That's where Sigma's actually really bad. Sigma's worst compositions are those Moiras and those Lucios and those Sombras and those Tracers and those Wrecking Balls. You ever played Sigma into a composition like that? Feels terrible, right?
Yes, actually, those are usually when I swap to Diva.
And it's smart. He was a great hero versus that. That's a great swap. But right now, what's ended up happening is that you're thinking too much about these Sombras and these Moiras and the touching point. You can't worry about that. Not when there's an Ashe that has a sightline on your team. Not only should you be dead, but even if you messed up, that's fine. Turn your attention back onto your target priority here. Because while trying to help with the Sombra, which, by the way, you didn't help with at all, you let the Ashe take whatever sightline that she wanted here. I mean, even here, shooting the Ramatra Moira would be better than what you did. And then now you're like, oh, the Ashe. I mean, it's huge. Look at the damage that you're getting there. Just keep shooting. This is where you could use your cover me, right? You want to get on top of her? What should you do with your shield?
I should be using it to get closer.
You could absolutely. You could use your shield here, walk forward to the staircase, get a little bit closer. Now, I wouldn't want to get closer to like a Reaper or a Ramatra, but I don't mind getting close to an Ashe. That rock's fine. But again, I'm still concerned about that Ashe. And again, you see it keeps happening, right? While you're focused on a target and there it is. I mean, she is the freest DPS in the history of the world. You know who hates Sigma? Hit scan players, right? Hit scan players hate Sigma. So here's my encouragement to you. Make them hate you really, really more, all right? Make them hate you even more. Control those squishies. Those static, slow squishies, you need to make them miserable. Control their sightlines. Now, if they play super, super passive, then yeah, shoot that Sombra. Shoot that Moira. Shoot that Ramatra. But until they play passive, you worry about it. Go ahead.
I definitely have been making mistakes with focusing flankers so much, but I think it's more like trauma from these ranks because every time there's like one DPS or flanker, half the time they kill like my entire backline.
So here's what you do. If you could shoot that, sure. If you could shoot that Ashe, get her out, then turn around, shoot one or two volley at the Moiras or Sombra, right? Then turn around and check to make sure that she's not back. Do a little bit of, you weaponize your ADHD, right? If that Ashe is out, remember, like it's how aggressive they are, then you can turn around, but you got to make sure that they're out first. Because the danger of the flanker is that they don't always have the most burst damage ever, but that they distract people to allow their burst damage to get kills. That's kind of the danger of the flanker. It's in a lot of ways a flanker is a lot like a tank, or they create space. They create a distraction so that the more fragile heroes like this get kills.
It's kind of how I treat ball players sometimes. I just ignore them if I can.
Right. Ball, if you can't rock, like you get accretion ball, which is pretty good. But once you've done accretioning ball, you really can't do much to him, right? He just takes forever to kill. Like you're not a Sombra, you're not a Reaper, you're not a Bastion, so ball's not really a character you can kill. So yeah, accretion him and then ignore him, right? That's pretty much it. I mean, if you can flux him, that's pretty good, but that's pretty much it. Like even now, it's like, where's that Ashe? Where's that Moira? Where's that Ashe? Where's that Moira? Oh, there she is. Shoot her, shoot her, shoot her. I like you even here, shooting around the Ramattra shield, right? This is good. Not bad. Fine. Huge. It's nice that you can't fade out of it anymore. Look, check it out. Oh, well, she didn't have it either way, but I don't... Yeah, you can't fade out of it anymore. So very nice flex. Well done.
Was that a thing before?
Yeah. Used to be able to flex out of it. Or used to be, and also, because she's here and the guy beat a little early, she doesn't get beat. See this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she doesn't actually get beat. So it's a solo beat. The poor guy. It's a really nice job. Oh, there it is. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I see. You can see it. You can see it here. Do you see this? Look at it. You're like, Ashe is there. You hear Sombra behind you. You turn around and you shield the Sombra. There's an Ashe that just dynamited your team. You got to deal with it. You got to work at this.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. There you go. But then even here, you're going back to Ramattra. No, stay on her. Stay on her. Keep shooting her. Don't relax. Because I'm telling you, like, this is how you're going to lose this fight. Even though you're thinking like, oh, we're up a bunch, right? Even here, I don't understand your hesitancy. You have full shield, full HP. You're up 2. Go get her. And look at her. You know? I mean, she's using the really, really freaky skin. So I guess I can understand your hesitancy, but like, you know, finish her off. Okay, now I gotta know. And look, oh my days, look at this.
She's just sitting there.
And she kills your Bastion. There you go. See, now you can do whatever you want. Now you can just shoot Ramattra and Sombra and Moira. Oof. See, times like these, your mechanics actually look so nice. Bam, 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 bam. I know it's not the easiest target. I mean, it's not the hardest target in the world to shoot, but yeah. Even Mei is like doable, right? Go ahead.
It's actually, I haven't really practiced Sigma's mechanics until recently, like 2 weeks ago at best. So I'm still learning it, but I'm just like trying to learn his like how to like trail ahead of someone moving or something.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem.
It's one of the strangest mechanics in all of Overwatch, I think. The double fire, the weird projectile, the explosion radius, the different bounce techs that you can do. It's bizarre, right? But you're doing a fine job. Your mechanics, I don't think, are certainly not your weak point. Come on. Get her. See, now you can't really see her. It's funny because like now you're giving her. I mean, that rock needed a hit, but I don't think you win either way. But yeah, I mean, give her your attention. Look for that target. Now right here, there it is. You see it? Get him. Get her. That's it. I mean, look at that. Beautiful. She's gone. Now who do you shoot? This is kind of a trick question.
I'm not sure.
I don't think it really matters, to be honest with you. As long as it's not, I would say Moira or Mei, because they're the slightly easier targets to kill. Ramattra or Lucio, kind of trickier. But Moira or Mei, doesn't really matter. They're all pretty aggressive. Just find a target and shoot them. Get her. What do you think? Are you going to hit it? I think you're going to hit it. I think you're going to hit it. You're definitely going to hit it. Oh, okay. But you know what? That's not your fault. It's good, though. It's good. See, she goes back to her team, right? Stay on that Mei. Very good.
I didn't know Moira could fade while ulting.
That's a new change. Like 4 or 5 months ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She used to not be able to. Yeah, they've tweaked with her fade a lot. Like you can't fade out of grav. You can't fade out of flux. But you can fade while you're ulting now. So there's like more changes to it. So yeah, okay. Yeah, stay on that Mei. Get her. Drop that shield even if you want to. Nice. Now Ashe is back again. So where is she? Get her. Nice. Look. Look how easy she dies. Now she's the only one alive, so that's probably why you're shooting her. But like, oh my goodness, I'm just so happy to see it now. Okay, nicely done.
I went up. I was actually hunting her.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good. Such a nice change here. Good. I mean, look at that. Even though shot in the Mei there is like crippling, you know. Good. You could probably flex him in rotation here. There she is. Come on, hit her, hit her, hit her. Get. Well, she's looking for Bob. You could tell. See, you're backing up here, and I kind of understand it.
I think my team was started dropping or something.
Yeah, but remember, what's your job? Is your job to help your team by standing in front of your team, or is your job to help your team by murdering their Ashe?
By murdering their Ashe.
Murdering their Ashe, right? Like, I look at this here, and I'm like, I could understand if you were backing up, if Ramattra and Mei and Lucio were all pushing you. You don't want to get too close to those characters, correct? But
yeah,
it's an Ashe. She's by herself. Don't walk away. Go get her. Get in her face.
Okay.
She wants to walk away from you, right? Sigma is the pokier tank, but Sigma wants to brawl, get up and close with the pokey DPS, right? You're only scared of Ramattra up close. You're not scared of Ashe up close. Go get her. That's the most protection you could provide to your team right now is killing that Ashe. Mate, you could even flux from on flank. People would say you're crazy, but guess what? It's free flux, right? So even if you drop here, oh my days. I just tell you what. You know, because you're like, oh, I should have dropped to help my team faster. Yes, or you should have just killed the Ashe, right? You see, it could go either way. So, okay, let's see what we got here. So drop, flux that Ashe. Good. Unfortunate. That's okay. It happens. Now, who should you shoot now?
The tank. I don't know. Or I could look around the ice, but I'm not.
You could. I would be okay with you shooting, then accretioning or rocking, right? The Ramattra. Then as soon as that Mei wall drops, then what?
I should be looking for kill pressure on the squishies.
You got it. So there's your rock. There's the Mei. There's the Ashe. Get your target.
Mei players scare me.
I mean, yeah. They're pretty spooky.
I don't know what to do with their Blizzard, and it's just...
So...
I worry about it too much, I think.
Yeah, I can tell. The way to deal with Blizzard is really simple. Don't try to eat it.
Okay.
The way to deal with Blizzard is to create distance and play cover. If she throws Blizzard here, but you're on this corner here, you could totally LOS it and just jiggle peek. Jiggle peek. Remember, it's LOS based. So if you're behind a wall or a corner or something, it will not freeze you.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind. Sense. Yeah. So it's...
when I played a lot of Diva, I got used to trying to eat it.
Right, because if you fail to eat it, you can fly away, right? Sigma, you can't. So you either eat it or you die. So you only want to try to eat it when you literally cannot get away. And here you could absolutely have gotten away. You could have played this angle, you could have played this angle, all sorts of different angles you could have played. That would have, because if you're here, remember that if you could block this little sucker right here, this son of a gun, I don't even forget what this game's called, Snowball, this rat. It's a cute name for an absolute, it's a symbol of Satan is what it is. Freaking hate this thing, right? Yeah. But if you're just here, this doesn't freeze you. Just sit here. Okay, let's keep going here. So Operation Murder Their Ashe / Murder Their Mei. Or Moira. See, with a Mei, you have a second DPS that you can actually help a little bit with. Mei's not as good as Ashe, but she's okay, right? She's nice. Now get that Mei. Good. Huge. Ice block force. Now she's dead. Good. Stay on that Mei. Very nice. Woohoo! Okay, I see you. From downtown. Beautiful. Come on. Nice. You'll notice that some of those guys are kind of hard to track up close, but it's still terrifying for them when you get up close. Yeah. All right. Junkrat. Oh, see, I mean, look at their DPS line now. Look at that. Juicy, right? I mean, 2 DPS that you can absolutely obliterate, Torbjorn and Junkrat, right? So what's your priority number 1, right? Obviously, shut down those DPS. Even if you don't get the kill, make that Moira and Lucio pocket them 24/7. Make them have to worry about you. And you can see, I understand wanting to try and rock that Moira, but you should certainly be at least shielding and shooting, because again, where does the kill come from? This jackass. Not the Moira, but that jackass.
Okay.
Rock the Moira, spam and shoot the junkrat. Do not do this right now. This is a major mistake. Why?
My shield's broken. I should just get out.
Well, not
Or
only
should I let
that,
it break.
or right, but also again, target priority, right? We keep revisiting that, right? Where do you need to be shooting right now?
Their DPS.
This Torb and Junk are right here. You cannot turn away from them. Like, you're not going to stop this guy, right? You absolutely have to kill his backline, because that's what's going to end up killing. And there it is, right? Check it out. Bam, bam, bam. Hits your backline. He's so low. You rocked him and you didn't even know it. Bam, there it is. In addition to that,
Okay.
his turret is still going. He kills your soldier.
No.
You know, like this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? Like, where it's as crazy as it seems, maybe go for the accretion on this guy, like rock him just to slow him down. But if you rock the Ramatra and shoot the Junkrat once and he dies, you guys might win this fight. Okay. It's weird I know it's weird to ignore the Ramatra, but you're not killing this guy.
Yeah, that's just like not natural, I'd say.
It is. It is not natural. It is not natural. You got to think about some tank matchups as like people waving their hand in front of your face and saying, "Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me," and you're saying no, right? Because the thing about Ramatra is he can kill you a little bit faster than you can kill him, so it's not bad necessarily for him to focus you down. But you should absolutely not be looking at him too much as you, especially when there's a Junkrat Torbjorn. Now, let's put it this way: what happens if he does this, and his DPS are all the way over here? What do you do?
I should just focus the tank.
Exactly. It depends on who's the most aggressive. But right now, this Junkrat is very aggressive, very reachable. I mean, look, the funny part is that, like we said, you hit him with a rock that you didn't even mean to. That's how aggressive he is, right? So that's a priority. Because if this guy dies, right, your Kiriko lives. Your soldier actually kills their Torbjorn instead of killing. He died to the freaking total mayhem from the Junkrat. Look at this.
No.
Look. So he runs in to kill the Torbjorn and ends up taking like 2 of the grenades. But yeah, anyway, long story short, it's not always what's most important, what's going to win you this one game, but it's definitely a habit that over the course of time will win you more games. So let's stop there and let's take some notes. Sigma. What do you need to practice? We talked about a few things, but what are some of the big ones?
It's mostly shield and then kind of target priority.
Shield management, using shield to go from cover to cover, or blocking burst damage. Track your HP. So I think also just like being aware of how much HP that you have, so you know when you need to shield, kind of a thing, right? And then target priority. What about your target priority? How would you put it in your own words?
I should be focusing on who has the ability to. Okay, I think I kind of understand what you said, but I actually learned a lot about this when I was going into like ball matchups, which I never learned how to play, but like. Mm-hmm. Who has the ability to follow up on the damage, or like who actually has the kill potential, which usually is the DPS.
Mm-hmm. I think for you, it's not just thinking about like who can, because you're thinking about it from like a defensive standpoint, like who has the kill threat on my team. Mate, Sigma can kill your team. Ramatra can kill your team. Wrecking Ball can absolutely kill your team. The question is more about like what can you guarantee stop them from doing that? And the answer is generally not really no. You can slow it down, but the more often the better answer is just, okay, I might not be able to stop you, but you also won't be able to stop me. Think about it like think about that Ramatra. He's popping Nemesis form. What can he do to stop you from killing that Junkrat?
Not much. He can like go in between us, but
Right. And do you think he wants to do that while he's popping Annihilation? Right? Do you think
no.
that's his, right? Do you think that's his priority is to stand in front of his team and block? No, absolutely. That's a terrible waste of that resource, right? So that's exactly what you have to be asking yourself. Like, even think back to on first point where you had like the Ramatra, Sombra, and Moira trying to touch point. Who was there to help the Ashe? It was just Lucio. Remember that? They didn't have, so there wasn't really anybody that could stop you from killing that Ashe besides Ashe herself avoiding you. And if Ashe avoids you, then Ashe isn't doing any damage to your team. So you need to ask yourself, instead of target priority, who's actually hurting my team? I want you to flip that on its head. I want you to ask yourself this question: who can I actually kill? And when you can answer that question, that's what tanking in Overwatch 2 is. That's how you protect your team, is to take, because you saw it over and over and over again. Who is killing your team? It wasn't often the Sombra. It wasn't often the Moira. It was those targets distracting, causing chaos, doing chip damage, and then the Ashe is just bam, 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 right? And you could shut that down. You could shut that down. Who can I actually kill? Can I actually kill is boiled down to the easiest targets to shoot and who is playing most aggressive. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because obviously Ashe is a priority, but what happens if the Ashe is in spawn and the Sombra's right there, right? That's when you kind of have to find that balance. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, and that is a really, really important part of tanking. Maybe the most important part of tanking is just to kind of be, I wouldn't say selfish with it, but understand that your role is, really think about, like we talked about, like we use the whole like cover me, like what does that actually mean in a war movie? Well, let's also bring another analogy out of the table. What's a tank in real war? What is it? What is a tank? What's the purpose of an actual real life tank, right? What does it do?
I don't know. I think they just move around.
Yeah. I mean, look at that thing. I just dropped a GIF in your chat, right? Right? Do you think the main priority of a tank is for, soldiers to hide behind it? Not really, right?
No.
What does a tank do? It just comes cranking through and blows up things, So that's what your job is. You come rolling through and you blow things up. And because you are a huge threat, everybody has to focus you down, look at you, because if you don't kill the tank or stop the tank, he's going to kill your backline. That's kind of the idea.
That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Yes.
Makes sense. Okay, you have any questions?
Not really.
Okay.
Well, one small thing. I was wondering. Actually, I'm not sure how to ask this.
Sure.
I was. No, never mind. I was going to ask him about Diva, but I think that'd have to be its own whole thing.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can, if let's put it this way.